Alrighty, we're gonna put an outlet up here, and we're gonna have it controlled by a switch, so they can turn on and off their sign when they come and go. First, we'll take the cover off this outlet here. We're gonna control this outlet with a switch. So we have quite a few wires in this box here, but we're coming off of. So we'll disconnect this black wire. I love how that hops like a bunny. We can unhook this ground wire here. And you can see the sloppy work they did hooking this white wire up on here. So we'll close the one screw here we're not going to be using. And we'll unhook this white wire.
Oh, holy cow. 18% remaining.
And we'll pull this black wire out of this connector here because I don't need it in the.
Yeah, I think battery's good.
And they didn't do too good of a job hooking that up, so we'll take that off. And we'll close the screw we're not going to be using here. Okay, so we'll get our white wires out of here. We'll get a longer one. And we'll get a longer white wire tail, and we'll get another longer ground wire tail here. Okay, so we'll get some longer tail wires here. We have, here in the country I was born in, our black wire is live, green wire is ground, white is neutral, but there are examples when the white wire may be live, such as in a 110, 120 volt switch loop, or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So we're going to get a nice long tail here to go to our outlet. We'll take off about an inch to hook up our outlet on the screw. And we're going to take off about a half of an inch to go into our Wago up here. Okay, so we're going to look up here. We're going to make sure our copper is all up at the top of our connector here. See how our copper is all coming down to the bottom? So I'm going to hold that up there, make sure it's just the right length. Our insulation is going to go in where we want it. So we'll put it in our hole here. Okay, all three of our coppers are down at the end. So we'll push this white up out of our way here, and we have our black sticking down. Now we'll get our ground wire up here. Okay, we'll take off about a half an inch. Okay, I'll make sure all of our copper is coming down to the bottom of our connector here. Which they are, all three of them are coming down. I'm going to just push that green one down a little bit more here. I want to make sure it's in all the way. There it is. All our copper is down at the bottom there, as you can see. So now we'll get our ground wires up out of our way here. Okay, I'm making sure our copper is coming up to the bottom of our connector here. Okay, our copper is coming up to the top. So now we're ready to put our I'm going to have to strip that black one a little bit more because it's not locking in all the way. Alright, so I'm going to take a little more off of this one here because it's not going in all the way. I took a little too much off. And that one's right. I'm going to see which one is live. I lost my ticker, so I don't get upset. I'll just use. The white one. Well, it is a joy not to be able to find things, so you don't get upset. You just enjoy looking for it, that's all. And if you don't find it, you know what? You don't find it. So what good is it going to do to frustrate? Nothing at all. So we're going to start putting this all back together with what we have and what we found. And we're not going to get upset. We're not going to get frustrated. We'll just be thankful for being able to do what I can with what I got. Okay, so we got our copper coming down to the bottom all the way we want it there. Okay, so this is our extension ring. It goes from a single gang to a double gang box. You just have to learn to love not having everything. And I'm really starting to enjoy not having everything I need. Because otherwise you'll get frustrated. So we're going to open up our knockout over here.
Yeah, I called him again to find out, but I called him the first time he said he would get a hold of him.
Wow, how joyful. I put that on the wrong end.
I think it died.
What?
Died.
Did it die?
And I'll put a couple screws into our box here to give it a little extra support.
I don't think anything's the battery. And that's the battery and got it.
There's a screw over here.
So you tell me. I was wondering why I was hearing kids.
There we go. We got our box up there nice and solid. So this is our 12 to MC cable. It has the bushing with the connector on each end here, so we don't have to put a bushing in it.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh boy. Oh.
We're gonna get one more ground wire up into
You
our
sit that long in the chair.
connector up in here.
You've been sitting too long on the couch, you couldn't get up. How long you been sitting there? A couple hours? At least.
And you'll just push on it until you hear it snap in. And we'll just come down like this. And we'll run our wire over to where our switch is gonna go.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
What? Well, I parked about 4 or 5 minutes ago, so. Around. Hey, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well,
I parked the big
if I don't find that screw, I'm just gonna grab another. What good is it gonna do to get upset? Nothing.
Careful of that. Want that crashing down on you? Matt, careful of that. Don't lean on.
Okay.
Yeah, I did in the other bathroom. Yeah, I did in the other bathroom. And the other shop. Had it go in my room, remember?
damn, Vern. Oh. Ow.
It hurts so bad. Ow.
I gotta take a wipe and clean this. Damn, Ron. Like, oh, you leak.
You reach. It went there. I was sitting there, 20 feet away and it went there.
Did it go in there, Bob?
Oh my God. Wow.
Poor Bob.
So we'll open up a knockout here on our box.
There. Give me that, Anna.
I may need one, I don't know. That's nasty.
I can get that out.
Just push it into here, the little tab you snap in there. So they snap in like that. And we'll screw our box on the wall here. Nice and straight. So this does not have a raised hole for our ground screw, so I'm going to take a sheetrock screw and just drill a hole so when I put the green screw in to bond our box, I go right in the middle here so I don't mess up my threads for the green screw. Make sure it's in here. And it will. So, get our ground wire stripped here. And we'll have to go to our green screw on the switch.
Haven't seen one all day long. Probably because of you, Matt. Excuse
Yeah.
me.
Okay, so we're going to shape this green wire so we don't get our insulation caught under the screw head here. Close our loop the direction our screw turns here. There we go. There we go, you just give it some force. guess our screw isn't going to go, so we'll just take it out. And we're not going to get upset. We'll just go throw it away. Put another one. If it goes, it goes. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So we're not going to carry on. We're not going to complain. If something doesn't go, it doesn't go. It's not going to do any good to get upset over it. It's not going to change it either. So if it doesn't go, it does not go. Well, let's hope it does go. And it's not going. So you know what? We're just going to admit it. We're just going to forget it. It's not going to go. It's not going to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a washer. You don't frustrate over this kind of stuff because it's not going to help you. It just doesn't help at all. Nothing gets accomplished when you get upset and carry on about stuff. You just do an alternative, that's all. Just do an alternative. So I'm going to use a good solid deck screw and a washer. It might not be code, but I'd rather have something rather than nothing. There. Okay, we bonded it to our box the best we can. The green screw was unsuccessful, so we don't worry about it. We don't get upset about it. We don't carry on about it. Okay, so this white wire is going to be live, so we're going to remark it with some red tape here. If you want it, let me know. I'll get it for you. I'll get it. Oh, Lord. So we're going to remark this white wire live with some red tape. Okay, so first we'll put, doesn't matter which screw the black or the white wire goes on, so we're going to make our loop the direction our screw turns. Doesn't matter which screw we put it on. What's that? No. No, it's not. Are you watching or no? You're not watching TV, are you? No. Okay, we get a nice solid connection like that. Make sure our copper is under the screw head all the way around. Make sure it's nice and tight. Close our loop the direction our screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight. Whoops, our copper is not under the screw head all the way around. So I'm going to loosen that up. Pull forward. Now it's under the screw head all the way around, and it's nice and tight. We have good connections here, and our insulation's not caught under the screw head. And now we'll just put our ground wire around our green screw here. Make sure it's nice and tight. And now we can fold our wires into our box here. finish it by hand so I don't strip my screw holes out. See, our wires aren't pushing against anything. Our screws aren't hitting anything. And now we're going to stick our cover on here. I'll stick one more clamp up here just so we have them right up close to the box here. I'll stick it right here. And I'll move this one back a little bit so it's more centered between here. There we go. We've got our wire running to our switch nice and straight. Here in the country I was born in, up is on, down is off. Okay, so again, we're going to use some red tape. We have to remark this white wire here live because it's going to our switch. So we're going to take some red tape here. Did you get a hold of him yet about the ceiling?
No, he didn't call. I just called John. He said he would get a hold of him, try to get a hold of him.
So we remarked our white wire live. We're going to strip it a little longer here. Okay, that's about the length we want. I'm just going to hold it up here, make sure we have a good length, and we do. So this is where our black feed wire is going to be going to our white switch wire here. Remarked red so people know it's live. Okay, so we pushed it in all the way. All our copper is down at the bottom here. And we'll push this up. And make sure our white is going up into the plastic, which it is. We'll push that up out of our way here. Now we'll put our ground wire in with our green here. So I'll look and make sure our All our copper is down at the bottom here, which it is. So we'll just push this all up into our box here. So now we have our black, our white, and our ground to hook up to our outlet. Okay, so we'll put what's called our mud ring on our box. We'll go on here like this. Make sure it's up here nice and tight. Okay, so we have our white stripped long enough here. We'll get our black stripped a little longer here. Get our ground wire stripped. So here in the country I was born in, our outlets are polarized. Your white wire goes on that silver screw, which is the wider slot. Your black, red, or blue go on that brass screw, which is the narrower slot. And the green screw goes to the green wire or the bare ground wire. So we'll hook them up. We put our wires around the screws, the direction the screw turns. So we'll put it like this. So we put our ground around our green screw like that. We put our white wire around the silver screw here. Close your loop, the direction your screw turns. Make sure it's tight as we can get it. Our copper is under the screw head all the way around. And our insulation's not pinched. So now we'll just flip our outlet around this way. And we'll get our black live wire around our brass colored screw. So again, we'll make our loop the direction our screw turns. Tighten it up. I pull back so I get our copper under the screw head all the way around. Make sure it's nice and tight. Our insulation is not pinched, so we have a nice connection like that there. That's what we want. Okay, so now we can put our wires up into our box here. Make sure our screws aren't going to hit anything. And I'll finish it by hand so I don't strip my screw holes out. And I'll just take my flashlight here and look, make sure our wires are cleared going up and through here. And we can stick our cover on here. Alrighty, so we're going to use our polarity tester and verify that our outlet is wired correctly and working. So we'll plug this in to our outlet up here, and we'll flip our switch on, and I see our two orange lights lit. So that is how to wire a switch loop to an outlet in a showroom window here in the country I was born in. Peace. Thanks for watching.